So if anyone would like to catch up, it's always a good time to catch up.
Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right, let's have the blessings. Let's do the Mangala Charan. Feel free to join me. Om. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Parmami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyarivacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhatta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Sambhatta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Pranam to you, Prabhuji.
Pranam Mataji. So good to have you. I was just saying that Mataji is not here.
Yeah. And I was bit late in getting ready and sitting down. I'm at my sister's house, so little bit disorganized.
Sure, no worries, Mataji. We understand. I was just saying, sometimes we get busy as well. No worries. So let's resume our Goloka chart discussion. And we started from the top, and now we are discussing Devi Dham, material world. The reason we call it Devi Dham, because Devi. And today in the morning, the sessions we were discussing, Maharaji was doing a session, and he was saying that we have Yog Maya. So devotees, they come under the influence of Yog Maya. They get covered by Yog Maya. But material beings, they get bewildered by Devi Maya, by Mahamaya. So because of three modes, material modes, goodness, passion, ignorance. And this is what we have, this is what we've been saying, that this is the whole material world is made up of 14 planetary system. And this is what we were discussing, that we are there in the middle. We have higher planetary systems, and then we have the lower planetary systems. We discussed most of them. Bhurlok, where I think we discussed the ghostly spirits. We saw some examples as well, especially in Bhagavatam, where Dhundhukari starts. Dhundhukari comes as a ghost, and his brother Gokund, and he's the one who went through a lot of things. He went to Prague, he went to Kashi, he did all those things he could do as per the Vedic just because he was a very qualified Brahmin. But even after all that, his brother, who was a ghost, Dundukari, he still could not get liberated. So right at the end, he was so confused that how could I have done everything as per the Vedas? And then sages come along and they said, well, not this. The only way now in Kali Yuga is by Bhagavatam. And then he did what we call Saptahik Bhagavatam. For 7 days, he did it. And him, his brother, there were many there. They heard Bhagavatam. And after 7 days, the ghostly spirit was liberated. And that was the very first story we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's beautiful, beautiful. So that's where the mention of ghostly spirits are there. And there are many more examples there, like we have seen Gandharvas. Yes, please, Mataji.
Prabhuji, when they do Saptahik Bhagavatam, do they read the whole Bhagavatam in 7 days?
No, Mataji, they kind of go in the gist. So for example, like what we say, for example, Bhagavad Gita, we say we can split Bhagavad Gita into 3 different sections. So the first 6 chapters, the middle 6 chapters, and the end 6 chapters. So rather than, of course, Bhagavad Gita is much smaller, 700 verses, but something similar we do in Bhagavatam, where we sectionalize it. We have the themes. So rather than reading every verse, we just go and we say, okay, this is the theme. From this canto to that canto, within that canto, from those chapters to that chapters, this is the theme. Brahmaji asking questions from the Lord, Naraji asking questions from Brahmaji. So that's how. So these are the 6 questions, or these are the 4 questions, and these are the answers of those. So the gist is given in 7 days. But there was a time when in 7 days, so every day, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. Yeah. But now 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. The latest one I saw in Delhi, they did only 2 hours in evening, because in the morning everybody was busy. So they only did 2 hours in the evening. And in 14 hours, in 7 days, you could not finish the whole Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses. But again, the gist, rather than not able to listen anything, it's better that you get the gist of it, you get the taste of it. And maybe you will join the group where, as it says, Nitya Bhagavata Sevada. So we need to read Bhagavatam every day, even if it's one word, we should do it. So that's how it goes. Unfortunately, the way it is in Kali Yuga, the time is always rare. Yeah. Thank you. So Bhorlok is the one where we are, and this is Bhumandal. And there's another presentation, as I said, we will see where a lot of details are given, and some of those details, they are beyond our own conceptions. But Canto 5 explains most of them. So Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5 is about the creation. And when we do the Goloka chart, but especially for the material world, if we go, a lot of details are there. So once we will finish this presentation, we will quickly go to that as well. So when we say Bhumandal, so we say Bhumandal here, and then we say Bharat Varsha. We will see all those things there also. Bhumandal, what is Bhumandal? What is Bharat Varsha? There's a Bharat Khanda, there's a Jambu Dvipa. We can see all those things. But so it says, as per the Srimad Bhagavatam, it looks like a lotus flower. It doesn't look like the lotus flower all the time. Not all the material world looks like the lotus flower, but this is one of those that been explained. It extends over a vast area of space. And if you remember, the very first thing which gets manifested in material world was the space. Then in the world, these are 7 layers. So we have seen the 7 layers. So if we go further, we can see those were the 7 layers of the material world. So they have been referred here. And in the center is Jambu Dvipa. So now in this we can't see, but right in the middle, we have Jambu Dvipa. So the other presentation I'm saying, we can see actually, yeah, in this, maybe right in the middle, we can see Jambu Dvipa, and Meru Parvat is there. So all those things, and the detailed, very detailed description is given. So we got to wait and we got to see that. But which consists of 9 regions, including Bharatvarsha. So the way we think and we know Bharat is there, or Bharat, Bhumandal, Bhuloka, Bharatvarsha, Bharat Khanda, all of them, they are not the same thing. They are different. And by the means of presentation, we will see what difference that is. But what basically is trying to say that what we see or what we perceive by our limited senses is actually very limited. It's very, very, very minute compared to what the creation is. Even this material world, what Krishna has created using his external energy, is very hard for us to understand. And this is what modern scientists been doing, try to understand the material world. But we have been doing it for so long, it's hard, like 5,000 years, it says the Kali Yuga has been. And there's still so many mysteries, so many mysteries. So how much we can understand spiritual world from our own senses? Very, very, very less. Thus, the Bhumandal refers to something flat. So currently we understand it's flat, and this is subtle form which we do not have the vision or intelligence to. So for our understanding these things, there was a time when scientists said that the world is flat, and then somebody else come along saying, no, actually it's round. And somebody said, how could it be round? If it's round, people who are on the other side will fall down. Then somebody else come up, oh, well, the magnetic field is there, the gravitational force is there. So we are developing all these ideas slowly, gradually, but all that was given in our Shastras 5,000 years back. Now, 5,000 years back, it says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, that that's recent, very recent. Otherwise, Krishna has given this knowledge to Lord Suryadev many, many, many years back. But 5,000 years is the latest one he has given in the form of Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. Otherwise, this has been going on for many, many, many years. But all that is getting proved now, what do we think? So this is one of those pictures where we can see this is what the temple of Vedic astrology is coming up, Vedic planetarium, we call it. So all that, this is part of Vedic cosmology. This is part of Goloka chart. This is part of the Vedic planetarium. This is going to get built in. So there are some temples actually in South India. I will try to find out that there was a presentation I did on Vedic cosmology, and I found some temples where they had this constructed in stones many years back, many, many years back. The same picture what we see, not the tortoise, but the 4 elephants and the disc, and in between they have the Sumeru. So this was constructed. I forgot which part of South India, but there is a temple there, and I have the pictures of those in real time. And we can understand that this has been perceived by our ancestors many, many years back as well. So this is all coming from the Vedic knowledge. Now, what else it says? So this is where we are on planet Earth, and we understand this as a flat surface. This is going up, Bhurlok, a bit higher up where nakshatras are there. Swarglok, the heaven is there. Up, Dhruvlok, Saptrishi, they live there. So Saptrishis are even above the heavens. Then Maharlok, Janlok, Tapolok, and Brahmlok. Satyalok. So we can see in this, Satyalok is there right on the top where Brahmaji is. So this is another kind of presentations where we can see all those where we hear a lot of stories, and we can understand that although it's hard for us to perceive, because this has been put together just for our understanding. Otherwise, it's not as flat as we think. It's not as straight as it looks like. It's a very much, it's actually beyond 3-dimensional. 3-dimensional, what we think, obviously we have started talking about 4-dimensional when we had the time. We have started talking about 5-dimensional when we started adding experiences to it, the senses to it. But this is even beyond that. And we see when we do Vedic cosmology, then a lot of stories are there. And this is astrology. So cosmology and astrology. There is a bit of difference. So this is astrology, where Shani, Saturn, Brihaspati, Jupiter. So Jupiter, Saturn. So Saturn is the son of Lord Suryadev. Son of sun is Shani Dev. Brihaspati is the teacher of demigods. Mangal is Mars. Mars is the son of Jupiter, Brihaspati, or sometimes we refer as Chandra. The story goes. Oh, sorry, that's not Mangal. That's Buddha. This is not Gautam Buddha. This is not the Siddharth Gautam Buddha. We know Lord Buddha. This is different. This is a planet. This is a star. So Mercury is there, Buddha. And then Shukra is there. Shukra is the teacher of demons, we can say. Chandra, moon is there. This is satellite. So moon, Buddha is the son of Brihaspati and Chandra. So son of Chandra, but adopted by Brihaspati, as the story goes. Then sun got many names. We do Surya Namaskar 12 times, and then 12 different names are given. So Ravi is one of those names for the sun. Then we have Rahu and Ketu. We know the story of Mohini avatar, where the demon was cut into two, but because he had the association of the nectar, he is there. And because it's a demon, it gives us the wrong impact. We don't get the good impact there. So that's why Rahu and Ketu, we always get afraid whenever they are. But it really matters where they are in our charts, and they do influence us, whether we know it or not. If we know it, we get conscious, it will affect us more. Even if we don't know it, it's going to affect us anyways. It's like a medicine. If you know what that medicine is going to do, we have trust in that medicine. If not, then it's hard for us. Now there are 4 elephants here, it says, and these are not like Eravat elephant we said at the time of Samudra Manthan. Eravat comes out. That's not a normal elephant we see day-to-day life, or Indian elephant or African elephant. But these elephants are very different. They have specific names. And whenever we see, if we go as per the Vedic reference, they always have specific qualities and specific directions. So Pundrik, my Siksha Guru is there in Dubai, and his son name is Pundrik. So he got those qualities. We used to tease him. But he will always be in that direction, if you think about it. And they all know. So the references are there, the details are there, what they are and where they are, how they are maintaining this Bhumandal or the whole Vedic system. Going down, if we see, then it says that the Ananta Shesh is there, who is holding the whole disc. And then the Ananta Shesh is on, this is what we say, Kurma Avatar. So Kurma Avatar, the Lord is there. And then there are 2 more elephants right underneath it. Their names are there. Then the hellish planets are there. So Nark Loka. And then Pitra Loka are also there. So these are also been mentioned. Ananta Shesh is, of course, again, Kurma Avatar is the Kurma. This is what it reflects. Now, the same thing. Now, as I said, today's session, unfortunately, going to be very short. So maybe another 5 minutes, I will have to close it. But maybe we will see one more slide. I have overlapping meeting today. So I need to join other meeting very soon. But if we see this, then we can't read a lot of things here. But if you see what we said in text, lotus is there and the layers are there. And then right in the middle, Sumeru is there. And on top of Sumeru, Brahmaji is there. And then there is a mention of sun's chariot. Now there is a story behind it. We will do that story with the other presentation because we can see what's happening. And the name of the king is also there who did this. But what happened that, so this is, well, we can't read this. I will leave that. But yeah, so what we have in between, if we see, these are different oceans. And we did, there is another slide. I think in Goloka chart, we have the mention of different oceans as well. So the earth is there, Bhumandal is there in the middle. But then we have the salt water. So the innermost is the ocean of salt water, what we know, what we can see, what we can touch, we have the access to. So all the salt water we have in the oceans, that's salt water. As far as scripture, it's supposed to be salt water. But when we go further, then the mention of sugarcane juice is there, mention of liquor is there, mention of ghee is there, the ocean of ghee, ocean of milk, ocean of yogurt, and then the ocean of what we say pure water. So we don't get the pure water anywhere, but right at the end, the pure water is there. And there's a mention when Bhima traveled, when Hanumanji traveled, they, and then Kim Purushas are there. They live in other parts and they have access to those oceans. But because we live right underneath it and we don't have access to further down, we cannot go out. And it's very hard for us to understand. But on top of Sumeru, so if I go on top of Sumeru, now this is right on the top, what we can see. But we will see, the difference, how it goes. Maybe the next time. But unfortunately for today, we might have to stop it here. As you can see, there is a lot of information given in different directions. Who is there? The name of the place, the name of the group of people who live there, the name of the presiding deities are also there. So it's been given to everyone. So I'm afraid I have another session to join where I'm presenting. So I need to join that promptly. So I will leave for today, but I didn't want to cancel today's session. So that's the reason I thought it's better to have a short session rather than having no session. So I hope you forgive me for that. I look forward for your association next Saturday, 9:30 or 3 o'clock India time. And then we will go through in detail all of this, what we have done today. There are many more presentation, many more slides to understand things even better in clarity.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for doing this half an hour.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare,
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev
Jai.
Maharaj ki